What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. What is going on? We are live. It is Saturday. It is September 7th, and it is just after noon. Recycled has just jumped into the mix. I don't know, is F Reality still going? I'm just going to go ahead and start. It's all good. It's 12:01 p.m. Saturday, September 7th. My name, of course, is Anthony Norsha, and this is VR 365. So what is going on? So basically, what I wanted to start with today, we've actually got a whole bunch of trailers. There's a whole bunch of trailers that have just come out, and I thought we could kind of go through a bunch of these different trailers. It's kind of light on news. That's the thing. If you do a live VR 365 show like I do, Monday through Friday, we cover all the big news as it's happening on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. We're covering all the news. The news has been squeezed, but we still have some interesting trailers. Why don't we go ahead and start it off? Let me go ahead and grab this trailer. It is Human Anatomy on PlayStation VR. And you got to admit, if you want to learn some human anatomy, the first thing you're going to buy is a PlayStation VR. Let's go ahead and check this out. I do think PlayStation VR does need some stuff like this. It really does. Human Anatomy VR. Now, how much would you pay for that doggy in the window? Human Anatomy VR. It's something we've all wanted to explore. We've all wanted to explore every little muscle and molecule of the human body, every little bone and mandible, every little bit of cartilage. You want to examine it, and you want to examine it with your PlayStation Move controllers, and you want to be able to alter the human body and put bones in different spots. We've all wanted to do it. The question is, how much are you willing to pay for it to get this stunning, incredible VR view of human anatomy? Now, can you switch to a female body as well, or is it just always going to be a dude? That is one of the questions. But this is available for PlayStation VR. I'm sure you're curious, how much does somebody got to pay for something like this? Well, let's go ahead and check it out. And you know what? Damn it, I didn't put chat over here. So I've got a problem. Time out. We need to get chat. Let me get chat over in the chat window. Let me take care of that real quick. Okay, there we go. Finally got chat back in there. So here we are. This is the PlayStation VR store, and we're looking at brand new releases. And it's been a bit slow in the PSVR world, but here it is. Human Anatomy, 20 bones. 20 bones for Human Anatomy. This did come out on August 27th. It's already been available for a while, and it is going for 20 bones. There are 8 ratings and 4 stars. The people that are going to be into this type of thing and appreciate this type of thing, you know, there's a certain type of person that appreciates the educational capabilities and also appreciates the fact that when you have a VR headset, sure, you want to play games, but you kind of want to see what else can this thing do. Can I learn things? Can I expand my knowledge? And is it just a trivial kind of thing? Is it just learning it in the same old way? Or is VR actually allowing you to learn more, faster, better with your VR headset? Honestly, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys. I would not pay $20 for this. But, for the people that would, much love to you, because we need things like this. And eventually, we need to prove that VR is a better way to learn things. And I think it's definitely a better way to learn things when you're learning the scale of something, when you're trying to get a 3D representation of something. VR is going to be the best way to do it. You're going to be able to learn some good things in VR. Human anatomy, yeah, examining the body from these different angles, being able to get up in there and look at it in every possible angle in 3D does have its value. So anyway, that is Human Anatomy VR. Breaking news here on VR 365, something that came out on August 27th for $20 on PlayStation VR. That isn't even a VR game. But that is what we wanted to go ahead and start with because there was no one in chat, so starting off a little slow. What is up, everybody? So now we've got Recycled, Sponge 720, Fluke, Payalo, Slay Blaze, Jim Hall, Greg's VR, J Puffy 91910, Jarillo, Anakin. Anakin is in the building. It's been a while since we've seen Anakin, the dark side of the Force, and T-Dub and Frank Zappa. So yeah, switching it up with the ties. So anyway, that is Human Anatomy VR. What we're going to do today, guys, is we're just going to cover a lot of little things that are happening. A lot of little trailers, a lot of little interesting things. And so the Oculus Quest is getting a lot of games that are hitting it on a regular basis, and it continues with Drunken Bar Fight, which comes out September 12th. Let's check out the trailer. All right, so yeah, that is Drunken Bar Fight hitting yet another platform. This game pretty much has been everywhere. Of course, it started out on PC VR, made its way to PlayStation VR, and has pretty much hit all the major platforms. Now it is arriving on the Oculus Quest. And when I was first looking at this trailer and I saw the guy in the red t-shirt inside the bar, that guy right there, looks really good. Looks exactly like the game looks on PC VR. But then when you get outdoors here and you get to some of these other scenes, you can start to see that there's a lot less polygons being lavished on these characters. On the Oculus Quest, this should be fun. This is one of these games. Look, I got a free code to Drunken Bar Fight. And the thing that I'll say about Drunken Bar Fight is it's a fun game, but I also feel like it's way overrated. Like, it is a fun afternoon screwing around in Drunken Bar Fight. We've talked about it before. There's been so many other games, like we've mentioned it. Throwing things, smashing things in VR is fun. And in this game, basically, you get to be a complete and utter asshole that is just trying to beat the shit out of everybody wherever you happen to be. And it is a stress release type of a thing. You can release a lot of stress playing Drunken Bar Fight. But for me, the game is like it's like an $8 game. Like I feel like this game, like if this game is like $7.99, $5.99, $6.99, I wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody that does want to relieve some stress. It is fun to take a gumball machine and just smash it right on somebody's forehead. It's something we don't get to do normally in life. You've always had, like, you've been somewhere where you thought, man, if only I could take this thing and just smash dude's head with it. Well, in this game, you get to take things and smash dude's head with it. You get baseball bats, you get golf ball clubs, you get bottles of wine and Jack Daniels and anything else that you can possibly smash somebody's head with it. So you get a lot of cool things that you can work with in this game, and you can have a lot of fun with it. But at the same time, I don't know that I can recommend this for like $15, $14.99, which could potentially be the price when this game ultimately does come out. But let's go ahead and check chat. Let's see what some people are talking about. All right, let's see. Frank Zappa says Hangover Reminder Simulator. Bullet Ape says almost looks like they made that just for Josh Dub. Anakin Bell Made Simple says someone sell me a VR set. So Anakin, here's what you got to do, man. I told you before, you want to grab yourself an Oculus Quest, and you could play a game like this on the Oculus Quest. So it wouldn't be too bad. You could play a game like this on the Oculus Quest. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go into one of the next trailers. Another Oculus Quest game that is coming very soon. Let's go ahead and check this one out. All right, so that is a really new trailer for Elven Assassin that has just hit the Oculus YouTube channel, and it's basically celebrating the game. It's celebrating the game being available on the Oculus Rift, but it's also celebrating the fact that it did recently come to the Oculus Quest. It is available right now for $15. Bouncing over here over to Oculus Quest. This is the newest releases, and Elven Assassin is available. It is $15. Did this just come out? Like, what day did this? So this came out on September 5th. This actually came out a couple of days ago on September 5th. And I've heard a lot of good things about the PC VR version of this. Not sure about the Quest port. If that is actual Quest screenshots, that looks really freaking good. But it's kind of hard for me to believe. Like, that is on the Oculus Quest? Is that real Oculus Quest screenshots? So does look really nice if that is what it looks like. But yeah, that game is available now on the Oculus Quest. You can see it is one of the new releases. It is $15 in space. Also, recently came out for the Oculus Quest. That is $15. I've actually played that one, and if you're looking for just a classic space shooter kind of a game, In Space is pretty solid. It's pretty solid. You're going on missions. The downside is it starts to get really repetitive after a while. Akron, Attack of the Squirrels, that is one game I haven't touched. I haven't touched Cloudlands 2. Of course, I have played Red Matter. I have played Time Stall, and I recommend both of those. Both of them, for their price points, I fully recommend. Honestly, you know, it's funny when you get out there, a lot of people are talking about the Oculus Quest, and they're like, the Oculus Quest is cool, but it's got this like tiny lineup. But I'm looking at the lineup of releases. It is not tiny. I think we're just spoiled because, you know, a lot of us are PC VR gamers. So a lot of us have already had all of these games on PC VR and we're familiar with them. But somebody like Anakin Bell Made Simple has not tried anything VR related. And for him, this entire lineup would be brand new. If you went to the Oculus Quest and you looked at, I think there's a point where you can look at basically everything. Browse all. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to see all. If you're somebody brand new to VR, you're just coming into VR brand new, how much incredible stuff is there for you to mess around with? Because Wander would be hella cool. Because it's basically, Google Earth VR is pretty much what it is, right? So you got Wander, you got Vader Immortal, you've got Space Pirate Trainer, the port is incredible. You've got Raccoon Lagoon, which a lot of people rant and rave about. You got Ultra Wings, Time Stall, virtual reality, Drop Dead, Sariento, Elven Assassin just hit. There's people that have never played Thumper. There's so many games. If you're a brand new VR person, you're just coming to VR for the first time, there is just a lot of good stuff. Like Shadowpoint, that's a game I got to get back to. Speaking of games that I got to get back to, games that I have freaking forsaken, this game is a very interesting game. The cool thing about the Quest, like people can shit on the Quest all day long, but the Quest has legit room scale capabilities. You could find a pretty big room in your house. If you've got a Quest, you could have a really good time. And Shadowpoint is one of those games. So, there is some stuff that's going on over there on the Oculus Quest. All right, let me go ahead and check out chat, see what some people have been talking about recently here. All right, let's see. Yeah, so Recycled says, it seemed okay until I played Gorn, talking, of course, about Drunken Bar Fight. And yeah, dude, Drunken Bar Fight and Gorn, they are in completely different categories. You definitely would much rather play Gorn. Let's see. Jim Hall says, looks like the objects explode before they hit someone. Okay, yeah, the graphics... Jarillo says, might as well get Blade and Sorcery. I think talking about Elven Assassin maybe. But the graphics on Elven Assassin, like those graphics look too good to be true. Has anybody played that on the Oculus Quest? Because the graphics look a little too amazing for me. All right. Jarillo says, Shadowpoint is the game I think Alex from Virtual Strangers said is very underrated. Yeah. Honestly, those of you that have an Oculus Rift S and you play Oculus games, don't ignore the ports that are coming from the Quest over to the Rift, like Journey of the Gods, Shadowpoint. There's some good ports. Like, I wouldn't ignore those ports. They're pretty solid. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the next trailer that we have. Now, here is another educational thing. And one of the things about VR that we've always been interested in is this idea of virtual tourism. Eventually, I think we're going to be able to visit all kinds of places around the world, all kinds of famous sites, and though we technically won't actually be there, I think two of our senses will be there. The senses of sound and the senses of sight. We'll be able to visit all kinds of historical monuments and things. It's going to be incredible. Here's an example of that. Unfortunately, I think it's a primitive example of that. But this is something we got to keep our eye on as well. This is Rome Reborn Colosseum. Let's go ahead and check this out. Those graphics are so incredible, man. It brought a tear to my... No, dude, those graphics, I'm sorry, are not that good. So this is an example of some also educational type stuff. Rome Reborn. I would like to go to ancient Rome, but I'd like it to look a hell of a lot better than that. In fact, Ubisoft, what is going on, man? Because Ubisoft, with all the various Assassin's Creed games, those games can take you back to an era, to a time, maybe not historically accurate, but it looks pretty good. It's fun. And that's what we need. So hopefully some of these Ubisoft games, unfortunately, they might be a long time away. We might get an Assassin's Creed VR announcement as an exclusive for Oculus platforms. We might hear about that coming up at OC6. So we got to hope that we're going to get some historical things like this, but even better graphics and where you can feel like you're there and feel. But at a certain point, we are going to need to have virtual tourism, and it's got to look photo real. You know, it's got to look absolutely photo real. But this would be kind of cool. So I don't know that this is going to be available on Steam or anything. Let's see here. They have a website for this. Let me get my webinar together here. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over real quick. So yeah, this is their website, the Colosseum District, Rome Reborn, and it says available platforms coming soon. So yeah, we don't know what platforms this is coming to quite yet. But, you know, it'll be nice. Eventually, these projects will get better and better, and it'll start to get more and more impressive. So we can look forward to that. Okay, so going back over here. Fluke Rogi says, needs stuff that looks as good as Nefertari. Yeah, however you pronounce that one, though, the Egyptian one, I know what you're talking about. That was pretty good. Okay, Seattle Seahawks sign Antonio Brown. I wish. Yeah, we just got JD, what's his name? We got Clowney. We just got Clowney in a trade. Could you imagine if we also got Antonio Brown? That would be crazy. And I don't even watch football anymore, but I guess I'd have to start watching it. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and go to our next topic. What do I have here? All right, so actually, well, you know what? There is a game I did want to take a look at. Now, it's not coming until Halloween, but I like the look of this upcoming game. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. So let's go ahead and switch back over to Steam. So yeah, there's an upcoming game from a developer called Goblin Games, based out of the UK. It is called Beast Shall Rise, and this is coming to VR platforms this Halloween. It's tentatively scheduled to hit right around Halloween. Planned release date, Halloween 2019. Valve Index, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, requires 360-degree tracking. Looks to be pretty much kind of wave shooter-esque, but you know what? I can still live with a really good wave shooter with big-time graphics where, you know, an Action Jackson, but in the horror category. And this kind of looks like an Action Jackson in the horror category. Let's go ahead and check out the trailer for Beast Shall Rise. Let me go ahead and grab this puppy. Alrighty, so that is Beast Shall Rise. And so, you know, it's not a AAA story-driven action-adventure game. This is a wham bam thank you ma'am. You're shooting a lot of guns, you're blasting zombies and ghouls. But you know what? I like the backdrop. I like the look of it. And I still feel like these games, like Time Carnage, I still think something like Time Carnage is fun. And I think some of these interiors look really good. I like the graphics, this like 1950s diner and stuff. And the way that some of these characters, the enemies are dying, their dying animations, some of the backgrounds, some of the graphics. Looks mildly interesting. Hopefully the price will be, you know, not too outrageous. I'd imagine this would have to be probably $19.99 or less, I'm thinking. But it does look like it has a little bit of action and a little bit of fun to it. Coming this Halloween, it is Beast Shall Rise, and Goblin Games Limited is the developer. So there's another little game to check out. And going back over to the website here, and these are some of the pictures for Beast Shall Rise, some of the screenshots. And I feel like it looks kind of cool. You know, it looks kind of cool as long as you're willing to understand that it's probably basically a wave shooter type game. You know, it's just a in-your-face kind of wave shooter type game. But graphics look pretty nice. Sound will probably be pretty good. So that is one to keep our eyes on coming not too far away, actually. You know, it's weird. Here in Sacramento, the weather has really, really changed. Like in the last 2 days, it's gotten way cooler, and there were like all these clouds, and it was overcast and stuff. And it was like, man, it's already starting to be fall. And we're going to start to see like fall games and stuff. We're starting to get into that time of year. You know, the Oculus Quest continues to have just a tremendous number of games that are hitting it on a regular basis. And another game that's hitting it that we just found out about is Poker VR. Poker VR is coming to the Oculus Quest very quick here. This trailer is actually for the Oculus Go version, but it should be a very good idea of what this is going to look like when it hits Quest. Let's check this out. Yeah, so that is an old trailer for Poker VR, but that is going to be coming to the Oculus Quest very, very soon. You know, I mean, people, like I said, people have been complaining about the Oculus Quest game lineup, but I feel like it's starting to get games on a very, very regular basis now. And I still feel like it has a pretty good lineup already from the beginning, especially for people that don't already have all these VR platforms. And I think it's more designed to bring a lot of new people in. Somebody like Anakin Bell Made Simple, dude doesn't own any VR headset at all. I think the base Oculus Quest. Now, the thing is, what is the problem? Like, why hasn't Anakin Bell Made Simple already run out and bought himself an Oculus Quest? What is the thing stopping somebody like that from doing it? And I would say it is still a price situation. $399 might, like, we know that it's such a great deal based on all the technology that is squeezed into it with the good controllers, the compute, everything is built in. It is all wireless. It is a standalone system, high resolution, good quality tracking. We understand that it's well worth that $399 price. In fact, Oculus is probably losing good money on it. But if you're kind of like an average Joe Schmo guy out there, you got an Xbox, you play Madden, you kind of are halfway interested in VR, price is still probably a little too high at $399. You probably $299, you start considering it a little bit more. I wonder how long is it going to take for us to start to get the price down a little bit. Now, the Quest just launched, and this is its first Christmas. I don't expect any kind of price adjustments for the rest of this year. So I think the Quest is going to hold on to the $399 price. Now, I could possibly see, and honestly, we should see, Beat Saber, a special Beat Saber combo, a new box. It features Beat Saber with the Quest, $399, a special bundle. We should see a limited time deal like that this holiday season. But other than that, I don't think we should see any other kind of price drops. Alrighty, so what else is going on? Actually, there is an Oculus daily deal today that some people might be interested in. So let's go ahead and go back over to the webinar. Let's go back over to the Oculus area. And let's look at, we looked at new releases coming soon. Yeah, PokerStar VR. Yeah, those are already there. So yeah, we know all about that. But let's go over to the Rift. Let's take a look at the daily deal. And they do have a deal of the day. It is Adrift. And Adrift is an interesting game. I've never played this. I've always kind of wanted to play it though. It looks really cool. Like the graphics, like the back, like those visuals, that shit looks really good. I would love to be in here. Now the thing is, like, look at that. Like, I want to see that in VR. I should probably freaking buy this. I should just straight up buy this because this game has always intrigued me a little bit. I know, like, the motion controls don't really work and all of that, but just for the pure eye candy of it. Like, is this a good deal just for the pure eye candy of it? I'm sure some of you folks in chat have actually played Adrift. Is this a possible buy? Should I grab this? I've got 11 hours to get it for $5. I think I've seen it even cheaper than this, though. But yeah, not a bad deal. Adrift is available. Pretty solid deal there. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out chat and see what people are talking about. I'm having a bit of like a stomach problem today. If I'm acting a little bit weird, I'm just trying to get through this computer and my stomach is like on tweak status. But I'm just going to try to work my way through this show. Okay, let's see. So going back a little ways, Frank Zappa says, unfortunately, I haven't found any good virtual tours. They look pretty much like this, going back to the Rome thing. And yeah, what is the best like historical tour? Some of the like going to some of the photogrammetry churches and like destinations and some of those places, even though like it's not actually 3D and you're just looking at basically a 360 photo type thing. Some of those are actually halfway decent, but definitely expensive. I mean, some of these things are expensive if you want to buy some of these free experiences. All right, let's see. So Anakin Bell Made Simple is talking about cowboys. Now you were joking about Antonio Brown, right? That's not real. Like you're joking about Antonio Brown. Like I'm not even tripping on that. Okay. Yeah, Fluke says need stuff that looks as good as Nefertari. Yeah, we remember that. Okay, Girillo says, I like poker. I'm surprised I haven't tried any of them. What's the best VR poker thing for PC VR? Well, the poker game I played for PC VR is Poker Stars VR on the Oculus Rift, and I was really impressed by it. I felt like I was there playing poker with other people. I was like, for me, when I first played Poker Stars VR, I was like, man, people need to know about this. Like my father-in-law needs to know about this because it could be a game changer. One of the things I've always said is imagine some elderly guy, right? And every Friday night he plays poker with clockwork, but like one of the dudes dies and then they stop playing poker and now he doesn't have that in his life anymore. And if you had something like Poker Stars VR, you feel like you're in a Friday night poker game. You feel like those people are there. You're talking to people. Now, it's really going to depend on all the people that are in the room. Every time I did it, everybody was super cool. Oh, yeah, see, Adrift has been hella cheap, $1.50. And so Fluke says, I liked Adrift. It's basically a walking / floating simulator, but the opening scene after the tutorial is really cool. Yeah, see, I feel like you would be paying $5 if I bought it for $5. I could try to wait for a hella hardcore sale, but $5 is pretty good. But I feel like you're basically paying it just for the eye candy, the initial eye candy of just, oh shit, I'm in a space station, I'm floating, and everything is floating slowly by me. And even though it's not 6 DoF with the controllers, like you're not really in the game, just your head is kind of in the game really, you're still looking around at everything and it probably looks pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, so lots of people are talking bullcrap about Antonio Brown. So I don't know why I believed that. Okay, I actually believed it for a second that he was on the Seahawks. God damn, what an idiot. Okay, so we're going to go back over here. Now, was there anything else? Oh, yes, we have one more thing to discuss before we bounce out of here in terms of little things that I found before the show is going to start. And so a lot of talk has been going on in the VR world. In fact, let's bounce back over to the webinar. And let's go to Upload VR real quick here. And so one of the things that has been getting a lot of love around the internet, of course, is lo-fi. Like lots of people are really excited about lo-fi. In fact, I should try to go back into lo-fi. I wonder if I can go back into that build of lo-fi. Hopefully it's still there. I should go back to the streets of lo-fi, and check it out. This is a game, a lot of people are super excited for this game. And the Kickstarter, man, it is already passed. Like it just blew right through Kickstarter like you wouldn't believe. Like let's go ahead and check it out. So yeah, it's well past its 45 GER goal. It is well past the 45K goal. It is now up to 52 GER and climbing. And so a lot of people excited about lo-fi. I'm excited about lo-fi. Definitely looking forward to it. But you know what? There's a brand new trailer that the developer, well, it's not a trailer, basically a development video of they're adding AR, they're putting some AR features into the lo-fi game. So when you're in the world, you're in this futuristic Blade Runner world, of course you're going to have some super advanced AI that's going to look super cool. And a lot of games will do this, but check this video out because I honestly think it looks really cool. Like, I was surprised at how good this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the full screen trailer for a second. You're not going to hear me, and then we're going to check out this video. I'm going to turn it up. Let me turn up the sound for PokerStars VR. We'll be back here in just a second. Okay.
So we have this set up. You tap your head, so let me do it in front so you can see. And your augmented reality HUD is up. So it gives you context on things. You can see my finger points because I have the screen here. I can grab it and move it around, place it where I like it. Maybe put it here. Yeah, and it just feeds you information about what's around you. So here, so get my police cruiser, so you can get more information. We can load up models and sounds and things like that in here. I'm not going to tap it because it'll make me take off, but that will let me go into the cruiser. We also have, when it's not on, major things like entering your cruiser and interactions pop up automatically. We're thinking of implementing a subtitle system. So, there's my drone. Subtitles. So when you're interacting with characters or someone speaking, the text comes up in your HUD. Which would allow us to do localization nicely. What else? Oh, and dialogue trees.
So yeah, I got to tell you, man, this world is cool. It is a cool world. I am very fortunate. I am super fortunate. Like any of us, any of those of you that have played this beta, any of you that have been in here and have walked around in here, it's pretty fortunate because it is a Blade Runner world. Like, it is a really cool Blade Runner world. And what I've seen was just the tip of the iceberg because it's just like basically just really seeing the environment, just seeing how it kind of is. And a lot more is going to be added to this game as the months continue. But man, it really is the Blade Runner thing. And it's kind of amazing that we haven't had more of these games. There hasn't been more competition because really, you think about Blade Runner, you think about VR, we had that really good experience that was on Oculus, Blade Runner Memory Lab 2049 or whatever that one was. That was a really good experience, absolutely a must-have experience. If you have a Rift S and you haven't tried, in fact, why don't we go over to the Oculus store? Let's look at some experiences because there's probably lots of good stuff that people have no freaking clue about. Because Oculus actually, they freaking specialize in this type of shit. Like they buy, I mean, this is what they buy. They like fund everybody's deal. They got it. And the Blade Runner experience is freaking very good. And this is going to be a game though. So hopefully interacting with the digital characters, doing dialogue, making decisions, maybe trying to solve crimes or whatever you're doing, a little bit of gunplay. This game could be super cool. And this is a very small development team. So when are we going to have a much larger development team? Of course, everybody will say, well, duh, Cyberpunk 2077, that's the real dream, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? But let's go ahead and go over to the Oculus store and let me see if I can find an experiences category because I gotta say, man, there is some incredible stuff in just pure experiences type stuff. So let's see, movies and narratives. Let's go ahead and click on this category. Invisible Hours, of course, a must-have experience for everybody in VR. This needs to come to the Oculus Quest. The Invisible Hours needs to come into the Oculus Quest because it's a great thing to have for anybody that's new to VR. Okay, the Great Sea is pretty good. The Great Sea is pretty good. Now, both of these cost money, though. So we're talking about stuff that costs money here. Maybe I should just look in the free category. Okay, Lost, that's a great example. Like, this is a must-do thing. And I'll tell you what, this Amaze stuff, let me tell you guys, choose your own adventure. If you know about Choose Your Own Adventure and you know about the Sega CD and you also know about Cinemax really late on a Saturday night, that's pretty much what we're talking about here, man. This is freaking this. I don't know why they went into the prawn category with this, but it's basically Choose Your Own Adventure. It's pretty much Sega CD. Like, this is the dream of the Sega CD. The Sega CD is back, ladies and gentlemen. Full motion video games is back. You gotta try Amaze 3D. I think it's hilarious. Some of it is really, really bad. Some of it is really, really bad. Some of it is very, very prawn, like straight up. But it is also really quite interesting. So there's that. Henry, of course, is free experience. Okay, here's the one I'm talking about, though. Blade Runner 2049 Memory Lab. This was super cool. Like, this was impressive. If you've never done this, it's absolutely free. Like, if you've never done this, what the hell is wrong with you? But basically, the lo-fi people probably saw this and said, hell yeah, we need to make this game. And they basically are doing it. And the vibe, like this is legit Blade Runner. Like, this actually has the license. But if you're in lo-fi, like, it doesn't seem all that much different. Now, I really like what they did with those characters there. And lo-fi's characters ain't going to be quite like these little full motion video 360 people, quite like that. But yeah, that is absolutely free. So if you guys have not tried that out, you definitely need to see what's going on. Definitely give that a try. Introduction to virtual reality. This is really cool. This is an absolute must-try thing. It has a lot of 360 video stuff, but this right here, this one was the best. When dude is freaking flipping those flames in the air and those zebra people, like, it looks so effing 3D. This will impress your average house cat. Very impressive. So try that out. That is Introduction to Virtual Reality. That is free. Oculus, I'm telling you, they've got a lot of good free stuff. Abe VR, the original Abe VR, is worth checking out. Dear Angelica, legit. Dear Angelica is straight legit. Like, I've got nothing but high praise for Dear Angelica. Sins of Peso, one of my favorites. Sins of Peso, basically, when you're doing this, pretend that you basically died and now you're floating off to heaven. That's what you're doing. Sins of Peso is you've died, okay, now head for the light. That's basically what it is. And so when you play Sins of Peso, stand up straight like this and kind of put your hands out like this and then rise up on your tippy toes and just kind of fall forward a little bit because your soul is floating away, bro. So just float through the experience. That is Sins of Peso, and I think this shit is incredible. And the developers, Kite and Lightning, aren't these the guys that are doing that, what's that game called? Yeah, Babylon Battle Royale. Dude, this game, Babylon Battle Royale, this game has been in development for a long time. Like, this has been in development for a long ass time. So that, it's going to be, I don't know what that game's going to be like. But yeah, these guys have done some things. You know, these guys got skills. Kite and Lightning absolutely has skills. But that's an example of some of the incredible free experiences that are available right now on the Oculus Store. And a lot of you crazy fools haven't even tried this, and you have a Rift S. What are you doing? Okay, Dispatch. Now, Dispatch, part of it is free, and then they ask for the money. But the free part, this is hell of impressive. Dispatch is hell of impressive. I wish they had all this stuff on the Oculus Quest, and I wish it looked identical, because I'd absolutely put my wife in Dispatch. I'd put her in a lot of these things, Blade Runner and all of that. But like having her come over here with all the wires and everything, but I could just take the Quest to her. That's the difference with the Quest. Have Quest, will travel. I wish they could get this stuff working on Oculus Quest, but it probably would really tax that processor quite a bit. Alumet, very well worth checking out. Absolutely free. And the cool thing about this, imagine a little cartoon. Imagine a cartoon, but imagine that the cartoon is happening like 12 inches in front of your face, and you're like, damn, look at that cartoon. Look at that little cartoon character run around. That is basically what Alumet is, pretty much. It's like a diorama. It's a cartoon that is happening right out there in front of you. Very impressive. That is a free experience. So much good free stuff. So much. Marshall from Detroit? No, not very good. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. I thought that was one of the weakest things I've seen recently in VR. No reason for that to be in VR. I'm sorry, I disagree with anybody that says otherwise. Okay, Mayubi shows that, like, Steven Spielberg needs to take a look at this, because directors need to take a look at this, because then they need to know, oh shit, I could do some really cool shit in VR. Like the director of District 9, he needs to watch this. People need to get some ideas from this. This is like, how long does it last? It's like an interactive movie almost. I mean, it's not really interactive, but you feel like you're in the movie. You really feel like you are this little robot guy. They did a freaking fantastic job of it. It all worked out great. You know, I never saw this scene here. You got to do something special to see Jeff Goldblum, and I never saw it. And that really sucks, because I would have liked to see it. But yeah, so that is cool. Mayubi, absolutely free, absolutely worth checking out. Okay, 0 Days VR, goddamn. Okay, this is not free, but it is impressive. This was impressive. It was dope. The sound, everything, just the production value. Like, it doesn't tremendously leverage the power of VR, but it's still very impressive. 0 Days VR. That part right there, when you see that chick and her head is like, you know, made out of all these like Matrix type stuff, looked really good, looked really cool. 0 Days VR. This was actually free for a New York minute. For a New York minute, it was free. And then they said, oh, hell no, we need to charge money for this. And honestly, I agree. They do need to charge money for it. It is that good. It is that good. Okay. So I'm looking through the rest of these, and a lot of these other ones are not really ringing a bell. Showdown, of course, is ringing a bell. This is from a long time ago. This is impressive. It's a very impressive demo. It basically shows you like the VR game of 6 years from now, because they're basically just showing off a very little limited stretch of land, and it's designed in a certain way, but it kind of gives you an idea of what the future is going to look like, the future of VR gaming. It's going to be freaking incredible. So Showdown, probably worth checking out. If you have a Rift S or a Rift, definitely worth checking out. Let's see. But yeah, there's so much free stuff, so much good experiences out there, and so many people, like the Bond, this is free. This is very good. This is well worth downloading. This is well worth checking out. It's kind of trippy, colorful, Technicolor. The Technicolor is definitely there. You know, tremendous Technicolor action going on. So that's well worth checking out. So yeah, I mean, there is just a lot of good stuff. And this is just one of the categories too. There might be some other stuff that just isn't in this category that is, you know, because this is the movies and narrative category. But anyway, folks, that's going to pretty much go ahead and do it for VR 365. As I was saying, I'm kind of have a stomach ache right now. And so I'm just kind of trying to make my way through this show and finish this show out. I am pot committed to doing VR 365 every day I possibly can. So stomach ache, headache, whatever, I'm going to try to power through it. But yeah, that's going to do it basically for another episode. I will be back tomorrow on Sunday. I will be on Twitch. And you know what? I'd like to find a guest if possible. I'd like to find a last minute guest just because there's not much news going on. We can just kind of talk VR. So hoping for a little bit of a guest next week maybe. Tomorrow on Sunday. Again, noon, we will be on Twitch. So I will see everybody then. So everybody have a wonderful Saturday. Take it easy. Later.